Alright, welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome. What's up? What up? What up, Biatch? Sorry about that. But yeah, how is it? How is it going? Garu and Rooks on the other platform that Jeff Bezos won't mention. What's up? I'm gonna draw some shit today. Hopefully, I'm gonna, enjoy the process and all that stuff. So feel free to jump in. I'm probably gonna watch like fucking. But yeah. But yeah, all right. Here we go. Drawlumpus kitty. What is that? What is that? That's not even a word. But anyway, just kidding. But yeah, I'm just gonna fucking do something today. Hopefully, just people gonna jump in and you know, get into my drawings and shit. But whatever. But yeah. All right, here we go. Shibidoo, speed up, shibidoo, all right, here we go. Okay, nobody's home, so a good thing, I guess. Oh well, whatever. I'm just gonna fucking do this by my own. Is a fucking goat trio? What? Goat trio? What is that? I don't know what you're talking about.
So one of the things I'm most known for is
But
the
anyway,
fact that I
I'm just
have
gonna
never
I'm just gonna
used
fucking
social media.
draw
My 2016 TED Talk, which is titled "Quit
because
Social Media,"
I don't know. I'm just gonna fucking draw. I'm sorry.
My
I don't understand what
2019
you're
book,
saying.
Digital Minimalism.
All right, gotta finish my comic. All right, I'm just gonna play this in my
In recent years,
background.
I've
He's
been
gonna fucking
extensively covering the social media
draw.
industry from a critical perspective.
I don't know. I've
for
been
The New
getting
Yorker.
into the
So
grind
this is
set,
something
quote
that I
unquote.
am deeply
Not really a
associated
grind set, but I'm more into
with.
like
Fairly recently,
how
however,
do I not
how
distract
do I
myself
know
from stupid
I'm
shit
not
on
missing
the
out
internet?
on
So yeah.
something special? What if social media really has evolved into something that is a true source of value in a way that I am forgetting? So I thought today it might be fun if I was to actually
Yeah,
live
slow
featuring the
day today.
show,
Nobody's watching my
load up
stream.
some actual
Not even
social
one
media apps,
guy.
and
Oh, there
see
you
what's
go.
going
Hey
on.
Tristan, what's up?
So you can attest I did not look at these in advance, so God knows what we're going to find.
You just
Yep.
came in the
But we're
nick
gonna
of
work
time.
on
I was
some
talking
social
about
media
why isn't
together
there
and then
people
talk
on
about
my
how we
stream, but
might,
now you're here. Welcome.
repair our relationship.
But yeah,
with these
let's
tools.
just
Jesse,
do
it would be
this.
funny
Let's
if,
just
when I
draw
turn on
something.
these tools, it turns out that I'm in the middle of like a global canceling campaign that I didn't realize.
Yippee!
That cancel Cal is like the #1 trending.
Oh, there's
hashtag.
Liam
It'd be a
Hans.
funny way
Hello
to figure
there,
that out.
Rooks.
All right,
On the
let's
other
look at some real
platform that
social
Jeff
media.
Bezos want to
For
mention
those
me.
who are watching at home, I'm bringing this up on the screen. We're starting with Twitter, or as the kids call it today, X. Let's see what we can find. All right, right off the bat, there is a.
I'm gonna finish up my
tweet
comic. All
response
right.
here. So there's a tweet. I don't know if you can see this. There's a tweet, first of all, that's showing Taylor Swift hugging Travis Kelce after their Super Bowl win. We're recording this a couple days after the Super Bowl. The original tweet says, "Imagine being against this." All right, but this tweet is being
Okay, I'm just
responded
gonna delete this. This is
response
kind of.
says, "Oh Lord, okay." This response from Smug Fecundity, so I'm sure this is going to be very well reasoned and compassionate, is the following: "Look, I hope everyone finds a wonderful spouse and brings 10 kids into the world and raises them together. Here's why this falls flat for, quote, the audience, end quote. There is no hero's journey, no character arc. This is a perfect example of potential marriage as the capstone to a perfect life, and I'm against this message." Jesse, I don't even know if I know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Okay, Smug Fecundity is upset.
There you go. Much
Taylor
better.
Swift is hugging Travis
Much better
Kelce.
that way.
I wonder if she's whispering
Okay,
to
let's
his
do
ears.
this.
Only 2 receptions for serious yardage. Come on, Travis. You can do better. See, I could be on Twitter. All you got to do is like think of something mean to say and hope that you get
Skibidi
clout for it. Let me
toilet.
click on something else on here.
Skibidi toilet. Yeah, I'm sorry for
Hashtag
skibidi.
farmers protest. All right. Let's just see what else is going on Twitter.
But yeah, by the way, I'm sorry if I'm kind of
I'm
playing like this weird podcast thing that I've been playing, but I've been reading a lot of like Cal Newport's book about called Digital Minimalism. I think it's probably the book that basically changed my life in such a positive way. I don't know. He may be a grifter, maybe not, but you know, the concept of digital minimalism, it's so good that it's basically makes you feel more productive by not going to social media and engage in discourse. Basically, TLDR, uh, you gotta you gotta use social media just for posting content, and that's basically it. You know, like I don't know, maybe like fucking Tony Montana. You're the you know you don't get addicted to your own product type shit, but you know it's been useful for me. You know, I've been boosting my productivity since March. Like I've been reading this book. It's really fucking good. Not really reading. I'm basically like listening to audio book because I'm dyslexic. But yeah, it's it's a you know Cal Newport has some great
This is a
points about like
protest going
social
on
media
in
addiction.
India,
It's really
it
good.
looks like, and then there's a lot of arguing back and forth about
Mhm.
what's going on. So let me
Thank
read
you.
This they're fighting for regime change on behalf of
I
opposition
just think
parties,
it's pretty.
said the
It's a very
professional
useful book.
protester Chijver Singh. Uh, and here's some video of what looks like tear gas and a crowd. There's a drone flying. All right, look, this is I think this is like classic, as I would expect. This is classic Twitter, and I don't mean this in a dismissive way because what we're seeing here is both the good and the bad in Twitter.
Oh shit.
The bad, I think, is let's all just take a pop culture event involving people that are impossibly distant from us, like Super Bowl champions and Taylor Swift, and just take turns seeing who can say like the more
Okay, here we go.
mean thing or smarmy thing and sort of hope we get clout. On the other hand, we also see Twitter highlighting here a protest happening in India that, you know, maybe you otherwise wouldn't come across it unless you were reading a newspaper. All right, so there's Twitter. Let's check in on some other social media. See
Wait, where's
what
the
we are
volume bar?
missing.
Why is it gone?
All right, let me load
Oh,
up
there
the
you are.
browser here.
Put it on the
We jump now on the
notification
Instagram.
thing.
The gram, as I'm told.
But yeah, how are you
it's,
guys doing? I
called.
hope you guys have a wonderful day today.
I'm
I'm
on
just
the
gonna
page here just
chill
loaded
and
up is popular hashtag. So I don't know if that actually means popular post or posts that just happen to be associated with the word popular. I'm going to click on one. All right. I should be nervous, Jesse. If I click on this post, is it
Alright.
going to be something? Let's see. It looks harmless. It looks like a nice couple in their young 30s, well dressed with complicated glasses, arms interlocked. Let's click on this post. Oh, I got to log in. Oh. Well, this is good.
The
This is
gram,
interesting.
as
We
I'm
don't use-
told. He's just missing the
All right, so we
backwards
can't actually
cap.
click on these without logging in, so let's just look at them. That looks nice. Here's a
Zed,
person with huge muscles in the
this
gym.
book was basically changed my
looking
life
nice.
about like
We
social
have
media.
People on
So
vacation. This is kind of classic Instagram.
I think a lot of people who is
Looking
into like
over
digital
a
minimalism
nice swimming
like
pool with
really
bananas.
like this
They're
guy.
probably bragging about their
I mean,
vacation.
regarding of his politics
Alright,
and all that stuff, he
so,
just makes good
here's
points.
a
But like,
football
you
thing.
shouldn't probably
I just
engage
think
in
classic
social media
Instagram.
that much,
People, everyone
and
looks kind of
just
happy.
post stuff,
Everyone looks
like
like they're in
post
good
content,
shape.
like be more
Everyone is sort of
productive,
showing off a
and you know,
life
don't think
they're
about being more productive. Just
want you to
do
think
some
is
small
good.
things.
All right, God help us. Let's jump over to TikTok. All right, what am I looking at here? It's a person playing a video game. All right, I mean, good, I suppose. Oh, I see. So it's a, look at this. So this is classic TikTok. Every time I touch the screen, it just throws up another video as soon as I get bored. All right, here's a girl saying, "How much do I owe you?" Someone else says, "It's okay. It's on the house." I don't even know what they were showing. Probably something inappropriate. Here's a video game. Let me swipe again. I got hired as a security guard at a pizzeria. They're pouring stuff onto avocados. They fried an avocado. All right, fine. Here is some sort of mashed potato dinosaur volcano. My God, look at this, Justin.
I'll
You
try
just,
to
like,
keep it in check. Yeah,
flipping, and it's here's
he's
something.
really right.
Ah, that's weird. Okay, next. Ah, that's weird. Okay, so there we go. We've checked in on social media in 2024. All right, so here's my take. Look, there's nothing intrinsically evil about what I just saw. There's nothing inherently bad about engaging with anything I just saw, but I can tell you as an outsider who doesn't use these services, who is looking at these with fresh eyes, guys, this stuff is really weird. It's really weird looking at what we just saw there, not in isolation that any one of those things is crazy, but that the foundation for a huge portion of our culture, the foundation of their engagement with their leisure time, is based on these types of interactions.
Oh shit,
That
I
I
agree.
find to be strange. We get used to things once we've been in that world, but the outsider perspective here is these short videos, the people trying to be smug about celebrities and who
Oh
can
yeah.
outdo each other, this pictures of various people's vacations. For this to be the foundation of your engagement with leisure, if a time traveler came forward from 2005 and looked at what I just looked at, it's not that they would be horrified by the individual things. I really do think, however, they would be somewhat perplexed by the idea that this is the foundation of our culture's engagement with leisure.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is okay, but it really does not seem like this should be the core of how we engage with the world
That's true.
outside of our work. So if you agree with this, what should we do about it? If you're like, you know what, I don't want to, oh my God, the video now, Jesse, because the TikTok's on my screen here still, they're pouring gravy down the mashed potato mountain. You see that?
Nice.
I'm just imagine you're the time traveler from 2005. Like, okay, so I'm watching, oh, and the music playing is the Jurassic World theme song, while gravy pours down a chute carved into a mashed potato mountain covered with chicken nugget dinosaurs. The Algonquin Round Table. This is not. All right, so we could do better. We could do better than making this the main thing we're looking at. All right, so how do we make this better? Well, let me start with the biggest mistake people make when they finally get fed up with how much time they're looking at their phone. The biggest mistake people make is they go straight to white knuckle abstention.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what?
The cold turkey. Hey, Max Out Games. What's up? Welcome to the stream.
On Taylor Swift and dinosaur mountains. So no more phone. And I'm going to actually feel righteous by the fact I don't use my phone. You know these people because they will tell you
that's a
immediately
pitfall.
that they don't use social media or their phone. They will work it into every conversation.
That's at my face right now.
On fire, and you could say this.
I mean,
way,
originally,
this is the only staircase that's not engulfed in flames. Quickly, and they'd be like, "Great, don't worry about this going on Instagram. I don't check Instagram anymore. I have an account, but I barely." And then they catch on fire. So you know when people are doing white knuckle abstention because they talk all the time about it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That alone doesn't work very well. My philosophy
that is
of
so
digital
me, not gonna lie.
minimalism, my approach for dealing with these issues, argues that these tools push out other things in your life and therefore then fill a void that those things used to fill. When you just do white knuckle abstention, you are faced with the yawning void of boredom and your own thoughts and anxiety. It's very uncomfortable.
True.
You just sit there like, what am I supposed to do? You need
Babsune
something to
Miku.
have that smoothing distraction. Hey there. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about my new book, Slow Productivity, The Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout. If you like the type of things I talk about on this channel, you're really going to like this book. It distills all of my ideas into a clear philosophy combined with step-by-step instructions for putting it into action. Now, if you pre-order this book before it comes out on March 5th, I have some bonuses I want to offer you as my way of saying thanks. These include a chapter-by-chapter audio commentary from me, the author, and a crash course that will teach you how to put the ideas of slow productivity into action in your own life right away. So to find out more about the book and how to redeem your pre-order bonuses, check out calnewport.com/slow.
I'm just gonna get one on the bookstore. Like,
all right, thanks. Let's get back to it.
I don't know. The thing is about me is that I have dyslexia, and I as much as I want to read books, is that I don't know. I need some distraction in my life, and also I suck at reading. I have this like really fucking bad ADHD problem, so at most I'll probably just like listen to audiobooks. And you know, I've been enjoying audiobooks because they're really fun. It's basically a really good thing if you have like ADHD and all that stuff, like you have like an attention deficit disorder. And I wonder if Cal Newport has a ebook, I mean audiobook version of it, because I'm really interested. the slow productivity.
So the first step is not to abstain from your phone. The first step is forget your phone. Do what you want to do on your phone. Watch your Dino Mountain Gravy videos. But
Mm.
start adding at the same time really quality alternatives. Start adding into your life things that can eventually take the place of just looking at your phone, that can eat away at that sensation of boredom and anxiety of being alone with your own thoughts that drives us back to the sucre of low quality distractions. So
Oh
what
yeah.
would these things look like? I'm going to give you 6 different things. We'll call this our high quality leisure toolkit. 6 different things that you should probably engage with, all of them to some degree in your life in preparation to changing your relationship with your phone. One is going to be reading. You should read a lot more. This could be a mix of things that are just really fun, magazine articles or books that are really fun to read, as well as things that are smarter. A recent episode of this show, Jesse, I don't know if that was 286 maybe, I got into how to engage with this higher quality leisure, how to learn to engage with harder books. So you might want to check out that episode. All right, second, higher quality video media, prestige TV, movies, documentaries. This is another piece of this toolkit. This is content which I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that slightly more money and time was invested than in the video of gravy being poured down the mashed potato dinosaur mountain. So stuff in which real creative energy and focused effort was placed. Number 3, skill-based hobby. Something you're into that requires a skill you can get better at, your results get better as that skill improves. This creates a feedback loop that our mind really likes. That can be more compelling to our mind than low-quality distraction. Hey, I'm working on this new project that is more advanced than I've done before. I think I might pull it off. This is compelling to me. Compelling enough that these other lower quality distractions aren't so strong in their appeal. 4, have some sort of exercise-based hobby, some sort of physical fitness where you're trying to build a streak, hit some marks in terms of where you want to get in your health, some sort of serious engagement with the physical. Among other things, this frees up, it frees up your body. It releases these chemicals into your mind that makes you less, gets you out of this torporific state of I'm low energy, I want to minimize energy. What's the lowest energy thing I can do to engage? It puts you more into a state of we're active, our muscles are growing, our lungs are being used. It changes your outlook at the world. Number 5, get involved with communities that meet regularly, even if this is just friends that you have a standing. We go and see a movie every other week. We go to dinner once a month, or a bigger, more organized activity, a league or a group that you go to. Have something that meets regularly that involves other people. And 6, seek out adventures. I want to go travel to see the sports team play at the away stadium. I want to go to this museum. There's a special exhibit that's coming. I want to go
It's expensive though.
by a
I'm not gonna lie.
waterfall that I heard about that takes a
Like,
2-mile hike to get
Going
to.
traveling, it's
Things
really
that are
expensive.
above
Some
and
people
beyond
don't
what's
have like
easy and
the
a really
privilege
cool
to have
create a
to do
really
that.
interesting experience. If you have these 6 things,
But I think you can do that as well by, like, I don't know. I think you can do that for much cheaper, just by walking around your neighborhood for like 45 minutes, half an hour. You know, just walk around and look at the environment. Like go to the park, sit down. You know, watch the sky, watch people passing by. I think that's I honestly I think that's like a really good stuff. I suppose. You know, I just think, you know, you don't have to travel the world and all that stuff to see like random shit. I just feel like there's like a lot of cheaper alternative for that. Not just like, you know, not just like going there and just like, you know, going around the world and you know, wasting money traveling. I mean, those are expensive. Not gonna lie, those are freaking expensive. Not everyone can afford that. So I think the best way is to just like, you know, like fucking I don't know. I'm rambling, but yeah, I think the best solution is to just like go outside, touch grass. That's a good way. I mean, I feel better yesterday. I actually went to like I actually went to like the fucking what you call it? I went to the phone store to just get myself a matte screen protector for my phone. And honestly, I feel very refreshed just by going outside. It's it's the little things in life that you can enjoy for free. Like the grass is free outside. I mean, not necessarily touch grass if you're like if you live in like the desert or whatever. You touch sand, I guess. But yeah, I feel like you know, I feel like the world would be a better place if people just like hey man, you know, hey let's just fucking chill, don't everyone's on edge these days because of the discourse, and I feel like a lot of these discourse are basically stems from the fact that they spend their time too much on the discourse instead of like enjoying the product. So hey, Garrick the Taylor, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Lol. But yeah, I just feel like you know if you want to make yourself like productive, you just don't focus on being productive, because it's basically gonna be like an Ouroboros of hey, I need to do this, but oh my god, I need to do that, and you basically got yourself like you know into this perpetual state of like, oh, I mean, I need to be more productive, I need to be more productive, I need to be more productive, and you just overwhelm yourself and you paralyze, and you guess you're being unproductive. I think the best thing to do is to just like when it comes to like getting I'm still learning. I'm still this is like new to me. Like on February I had like a on February I had a little hiatus from everything. So I had like an actual hiatus from everything, and basically I'm basically focusing on my well-being. Actually went to I didn't go anywhere outside of like few malls and watch movies. We watched like I watched the Queen concert and all that stuff. Hey, Aubrism, welcome. Good afternoon. But yeah, I think the way to make yourself feel more productive is just like fucking. I'm here to bully and use slurs, and I was told to touch the desert glass, Yucca, for the uninitiated. But yeah, um, I've been listening to this audiobook called the Digital Minimalism on back in February. I'm watching a video from the author Cal Newport. You know, he makes a really good point about social media basically being shit. I like your Beefs comics. My mom owns an extensive line of UP holidays. It's kind of funny. It's kind of set in the South St. Mary. Okay. Yeah. It's basically I've been doing a lot of research, despite the fact that I've never set foot in the UP. Probably never will. But I don't know. I just like the UP because it's such a weird place. Like it's so up there, but not up enough to be Canada. And there's like a giant bunch of giant lakes. It's like a different planet, if you will. I mean, you have like it's I don't know, probably underrepresented. I guess. I think the Midwest is a little bit, you know, it is really weird, and people are very strange hillbillies. Oh, you mean the Yoopers? I don't think they're hillbillies. They're just Yoopers. I mean, hillbillies are Scottish. They were a descendant of Scottish. I think Yoopers are just like Scandinavian. They were descendant of Scandinavians, mostly Finnish. So they had like this like Finnish intonations, like oh yeah, yeah. Why did I troll and scroll up? See, try and scroll. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. I'm a post that tonight. I mean, I'm glad that it's still like I'm glad that it's halfway done. This this is before I had like a before I had like the decided to go on hiatus. So there's that. All right, this is the Frank Reynolds hairstyle. I'm the trash man. But yeah, I was making a comic about why there's like so many, not a lot of like afro textured hair. Like if you play any games out of Fortnite, you have only like four, and this fucking hairstyle is like fucking everywhere, dude. Like what the fuck? The fucking Killmonger cut. I've yet to meet anyone in like in real life, both in real life on the internet, who actually has this fucking Killmonger cut. Always the shittiest dread style. Yeah, this is the fucking wiener dread. The fucking wiener dread. That is nobody likes. It looks like fucking. I mean, it doesn't look like wieners, bro. If you've ever seen like a lot of like PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 model of this cornrow, looks like fucking. They just glued like fucking Slim Jims on someone's head and call it a day. Like, dude, bro, just what the fuck, dude. I used to work with a dude back in 2018 who had that hairstyle. He was the biggest prick in the warehouse. Benton era dreads. This is like the. Oh my fucking god! Yeah, it does look like it does look like fucking Slim Jims. Like you put like Slim Jims into like the glue Slim Jims in someone's head, and he's like, "Yep, that's a cornrow." It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, here you go. I think I'm gonna draw in some details just to make it not bad. Hooray! I don't work today. Man, I needed to have a job too. But anyway. Okay. Now let's switch to Photoshop. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch to Photoshop.
In your life, reading, high quality.
Okay, be right back. I'm gonna save this as a I'm gonna save this as PSD so I can save it to Photoshop. So I'm just gonna open this. My Photoshop. I have the displeasure of having to subscribe to Photoshop Creative Cloud because you know, I got I used to sail the seven seas with Photoshop, but then the Adobe found out, and I couldn't even like fucking use Photoshop anymore. And then Photoshop literally emailed me like said that, hey, we've noticed that you've been using Photoshop illegitimately, but you know what? We're gonna make a deal for you. How about this? $3 a month for Photoshop. How about that? And I was like, all right, sure, $3. So I got like Photoshop subscription for like $3 a month. Yo, Rich Ayo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna draw some shit today. Gonna finish up my comic. So alright, I'm gonna continue the thingy.
Quality TV movies, skill-based hobby, exercise-based hobby, regular meeting communities, and adventures. Take some time to add all these into your life.
Thank you so
now
much.
you're going to be in a position
Really
where
appreciate it.
the monopoly that your phone has on your time and attention has dissipated. It is now competing against higher quality versions of things that can satisfy the same needs that were driving you to your phone. Those needs are going to drive you one way or the other. But the phone gives you a low fidelity
All right.
solution to what you crave. These high quality leisure activities give you a higher fidelity solution, and therefore they're going to be more easily victorious. So that's step
Adobe
one.
can
You put
fuck
alternatives
themselves.
to your
Use
phone in your
GIMP,
life
or
before you
I
even worry
know.
about your phone habits.
But the thing is about GIMP, you gotta
Step
took
two,
like
we declutter.
5 extra steps to do
Now, this is the core
a thing
idea
that
from
you
my
can
book,
do like in
Digital
one step.
Minimalism.
In
I don't believe in
Photoshop.
detoxing in the sense of take a break
Like
and then go
the
back to what you were doing
outlines.
before.
Like you can't
I believe
even
in
do
decluttering.
outlines in
So step
GIMP
away,
without
take a
going to, hey,
break
you need to do
as
this, do
step
that,
one
do
of
this, do
making
that.
permanent
I mean,
change.
I know.
So the way this works is that you take 30
It's really
days where
frustrating
you are now
that
ready to stop using
GIMP
these optional
is
digital
so
technologies in your life.
insisting on doing their
The
own
TikTok,
shit
the Instagram,
instead of
the
like going
Twitter,
with the you know what, we're gonna
video
nab,
games,
we're gonna fucking nab
YouTube. You step
Adobe
away
user base.
from these optional
I
technologies.
think it's also the problem with
but
a
now
lot of
you're
like
prepared to do so because
with
you
a
have
lot of
these
like
6
open
areas of
source
high-quality
softwares
leisure
that
already in
they
your life,
like
already
to do
rock and
things their
rolling.
own way,
Just lean heavily into those.
or
You're not staring into the void.
you
You're
know,
not
it's
sitting there
either their way or the
like
highway,
a detoxing drug addict.
and that's
shaking,
a
like,
really
what am I gonna
fucking
do
bad
next?
way
You're doing other things.
because it scares away
So you're getting a taste of
because it
life
scares
without
away your
these
potential
tools.
users.
In doing so,
Like
you can see
I
what
think
you
the problem
missed.
with
You
like
could also figure out what you
honestly,
really
this
care
is my
about.
hottest take so far.
At the end of the 30 days,
I
then you
think
can
the
decide
problem
what, if
with
anything,
the
you wanna
open
add back
source
into your digital
software
life.
community developers is
To add
that
back a tool, it must be
there's like
really
this
valuable.
inherent
Like, hey, this
elitism
actually
in
satisfies
things
something that's
that,
important to me.
dude, stop
And
it,
two,
man. Do you
when you add
want
it
people
back,
to
you should have
use
clear
and
rules for
care
how
about
and
the
when
open
you're gonna
source or
use it.
not? You know, just cut the
So maybe
elitist bullshit, dude,
Twitter
and
comes back
just
into
let
your
people use
because
your
you
software and
realize
actually
you really do
learn
need to
it.
keep up
You know what I'm
with
saying?
baseball.
There's no
trade
need for
rumors that are
smug.
going on. This is really
But
important
you
to
know,
you that during the
you're
hot start
you're a
season,
sheep
you do really
soy
like
jet
baseball, and
consumer.
it helps you engage
Shut
to
the
hear
fuck
the
up.
baseball reporters
Bruh.
sharing rumors on player trades. Let's say this is the situation. Well, now that you know this is why you're bringing Twitter back into your life, you could have clear rules on it. All right, I check in on these rumors on during lunch
But
break.
anyway, I
takes
digress.
about
Let's
20
just do
minutes.
this.
I don't follow anyone on Twitter. I've just bookmarked the 4 baseball reporters who I follow, 2 for my team, and maybe like Ken Rosenthal and Jay Papasan, or national reporters have good sources. And I look at it on my desktop computer when I'm at work. So now I get that value. Every day I go on and see what's going on, but I also don't have Twitter with me on my phone, and these are part of a much larger timeline that I can check at any time and has endless information. I've put this tool back into my life for a specific reason with specific rules. This is how you reconfigure a digital life
They
that
can't
operates
patent
on your
GUI.
terms, supports what you value,
Like,
and yet minimizes
or
the,
how do things. They can only
unnecessary
patent the code
negative
base, all
side
right?
effects.
I mean, you can
So
actually
none of
go
this is
to like
about
court
this
with this, and you're
technology is
probably
good
gonna
or that
win.
technology is bad.
That's like
None of
that's
this is
like
about,
I mean, we can
you
use
need
like
to live
all
exactly
like
this way versus that way.
we can use like
It's about
car
intention.
analogy.
But
You
you can't
can't
have intention about your digital
patent
life
how
until you
car
build a life
layouts
that's
are like,
better than
right?
what we just saw when we took
You
this
have the
quick
steering
tour
wheel, you
through
have
the
the
state of
gas
social
pedal, you have
media in
the
2024.
stick,
Again,
you have the
what we just
clutch,
encountered here
you have
is
reverse,
fine, but also sort of weird.
you
and
have the
acyclic and
radio, you have the
idiosyncratic.
AC,
To look at that now
whatever.
and again, who
It's all
cares? It's
standardized.
like reading the tabloid.
I
in
mean,
the
the only way
supermarket
to
checkout
beat
line.
the,
But if I found you
to win
reading
an
the
argument
National
for
Enquirer
like
3 to 4 hours
for
a day,
free and open
7
source
days a
standards
week,
is
I'd say,
the
okay,
car
buddy,
analogy,
I think we need a better
which
hobby. And
that's
is
been used
implicitly what
by
we've all
a lot
ended
of like
up
right to
doing.
repair advocates.
So to fix this relationship,
Why
with
is it
social
even so
media
hard to
and
make
our
like car
phones more
analogy out of
generally,
everything? Like the
put in
boomers are
place
so
the
obsessed with
alternatives
cars,
that are
dude.
much
Let's
better.
just make a car
Get yourself
analogy.
to the place where your mind is increasingly embarrassed by choosing
Like imagine not being able
TikTok
to
over all of
like
these
every
other
car is
much
like
richer
alien,
options,
have
and
like an
then do
alien
your organized
interface.
declutter. If you want to find out more about this, my book, Digital Minimalism, of course, dives into all these details, but hopefully I've given you enough there to get you started. Did you see, Jesse, in the Super Bowl, there was an ad for Snapchat?
I did.
It was
Okay,
it
gonna
seemed to me like Snapchat was
rasterize
trying to
Leia.
argue we're better. We don't have some of the same problems as other social media platforms. Even though Snapchat, as any social media research will tell you, has been at the core, for example, of the teenage mental health crisis and its intersection with social media. It's very big among teenagers, and Snapchat conversations, it leads to all sorts of issues. I was joking with the person I was with when we were watching the Super Bowl. I was like, this is sort of like having an
All right, gonna save it.
anti-fentanyl ad sponsored by crack. Remember crack? This was better in some sense than it was now with fentanyl. That was sort of the sense I got with that ad. You're like,
Okay,
it was
saved
hard
it.
to get crack, so like you wouldn't do as much of it. Fentanyl is,
And then
it's
reopen
an
it,
interesting argument.
and voila,
Hey, we're better than the other stuff.
it's
because-
there.
Oh well. All right. Well, there we go. So I'm not joining social media yet, Jesse, but it was good to see it.
Yep.
By the way, I was proud that Instagram was not signed in on your iPad. That means you must not be a heavy Instagram user.
I tried to open it on the app on my iPad, and then it was asking for my password, and I haven't used it in a while. And then I tried to find my password, and I entered it, but then wouldn't let you reset it. So
Well, I like that though. That means you haven't used it in a while, and you've been okay.
I've been okay.
Think about all those beach vacations though you could have been learning about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like a coach, like my golf coach or someone will send me a video, so then I go in and check that out. And then,
Yeah. People have done that too, and they'll let you see like one thing.
Oh my God, this
You'll
is
think
much
along.
better. What the
Mhm.
fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, how the fuck is
Alright, so we got a bunch
no
of
line art
questions
much
from you, the
better to
listeners,
portray like
that are all
TVs and shit?
focused on this topic. Before we get to those questions, though, I want to mention one of the sponsors that makes the show possible. Talk about our friends at Rhone, RHONE. Men's clothes were due for a radical reinvention, and Rhone stepped up to the challenge. Rhone's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, and here is why. It has probably the best full summary of Neil Postman's philosophy regarding technology. And in that article, I get into the impact of Postman's technopoly theory on my own thinking about technology and technocriticism, and it did have a big impact. So you're correct to note that Postman is related to my work. I draw probably more heavily from technopoly than amusing ourselves to death. So check out that New Yorker piece to get a better sense of that. I like amusing ourselves to death. It definitely is a standalone book worth reading. What people often get wrong about it is they think it's just a book about TV being bad. And yes, that's the main theme. It
Oh
was written
fuck!
in
I lost the
1980s, the amusing ourselves
thing.
to death. It's talking about doing so with TV and the way that TV has
Paper
evolved. But there's
A.
a deeper technocritical argument that's proven very influential in that
and
book.
then
What Postman argues is
intensities
technologies
a
in
little bit up.
general, and media technologies more specifically,
And then this is what I'm gonna like to
can
do.
affect the way cultures actually think.
I'm gonna
TV
do
was just
this.
the
Paper
latest
texture. Do you have like
example of
TV
this.
over here?
So he talks in the book
Like a TV
famously
screen? That would be
about
fucking
how during
cool.
the time of
Oh,
Abraham
TV
Lincoln,
pixel. There it is.
the
Oh,
media culture was
baby.
built on newspapers. And newspapers would have really long articles in them, right? You have thousands of words, articles, and speech transcriptions. The America at that time was actually highly literate. You didn't have a lot of other diversions, so you're plenty happy to spend lots of time reading all these details in the
Yeah, Blake, thank you.
newspaper. He
Thank you so
called it
much.
a
Welcome to my
lexicographic
stream.
media culture.
By the way,
He said in lexicographic media culture, we were very comfortable with consuming information in sort of long discursive discussions. He's like, this is why, for example, when Abraham Lincoln was debating Stephen Douglas in the famed Lincoln-Douglas debates, these were huge spectacles that would have huge crowds. They would each talk for 3 hours at a time. Lincoln would talk for 3 hours, then they would all get lunch or dinner. And then Stephen Douglas would talk for another 3 hours. And then Lincoln would have a 1 hour rebuttal. And Postman said, we were completely comfortable with that in the mid-19th century because this was the media culture was one of long discursion. And so he argues in the culture of the 80s, which was based on soundbite television, the way that we process information and think about things is much different. The media affects how we think. The bigger example, I mean, he goes into how Gutenberg and the printing press, that gave us a way of thinking.
there you go.
It
Finished. I'm
introduced
gonna
a way
post
of
it.
thinking that
I'm
was
gonna
more precise.
Miku Buffsune.
and
Okay, I'm gonna
structured.
post it my
And he said that the printing press
on my
changed the way we
comics
thought
page.
in
I'm gonna
such
post
a
it
way
on
that the
r
Enlightenment and the
slash
scientific revolution
comic
became
because I'm a redditor. I'm
And
sorry for
until
being
the
a
printing
redditor,
press,
everyone.
The media changed and changed the
I'm
way our
sorry
minds
for being a
worked. We
redditor.
weren't actually capable
All
of
right,
having a
gonna
scientific
post this.
revolution.
Finally finished.
Books came before it. Books changed how we thought.
But first,
how we
I need
changed how we thought, we
to
could do
cut
things
this
like invent science.
thingy bob into
Newspapers
little
changed how we thought,
pieces.
so we were comfortable with very long discursive discussions and so on.
So I'm just gonna
So
do
of course,
this.
the interesting question is, how did social
The
media
merge
and
visible
phones
layers.
change the way we thought? How does it change
So
the way we
I
engage with the
I
world?
mostly make like
That's
two
a
different
question
like
a lot of
fucking
people posting
shit around
have
here.
been
Like I made like
tackling more
the
recently,
webtoon format, and then
it's a
the
smart one to think about.
there's also like
the media itself,
this.
the form of the media changes how we.
You know, I need
just
to rename
cogitate.
this. Probably save as.
What does that mean about how our brains operate in a world of social media? That is something worth thinking about, because
Oh,
I think
not
those
that one.
impacts have been profound. So check out that book. It's a cool one. Check out my New Yorker piece about technopoly as well, because that's also a very deep book. All right, who do we got next?
Next question's from Roshan. I
Oh,
was wondering
fuck,
if you
I
could square
forgot
the
about that.
theoretical 4-hour daily limit on deep work mentioned in Deep Work and the pursuit of high-quality leisure mentioned in Digital Minimalism. Is it possible to pursue a high-quality leisure activity on a day you completed deep work professionally?
Yeah, for the most part, it's not a problem. That 4-hour daily limit, what that comes out of actually is people who are in states of more intense, deliberate practice. So that number was first identified in a study of professional violin players. 4 hours broken into two 2-hour chunks was about, on average, the maximum a professional player could practice, because when professional players practice, it's incredibly intense.
All right, this is how I do
They
like
don't just play
layouting
stuff
and
they know how to play. They're instead
For
systematically
webtoons.
and deliberately trying to push their skills to the next level. Pros can do that for 4 hours, but not much longer. We see that in other places as well. There's a type of software development called extreme
Click.
programming, in which you sit two people at the same monitor. It is very intense programming where the one person's looking over your shoulder, and you're trying to build the best code with someone watching you do it. This is very intense because you have to have, like a violin player practicing, complete unbroken concentration. I write about this a little bit in my book, A World Without Email. So what they found with extreme programming is that it's super productive. You would think, hey, we're doing 2 people per screen, we're going to get half as much done. But the code is so good, and you get quality code so
All right,
fast.
there you
It's
go.
incredibly productive. But they also learned it's
kind of
you can only
fast.
do it for a certain
Not
number of
gonna
hours
lie.
a day. People completely burn out. You get like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like everyone has to go home and take a nap. There is no notion of working late in an extreme programming environment because it's too exhausting. High quality leisure.
You know what? Gonna
typically
change the
doesn't trigger
title
this,
to the
unless
Killmonger
your
cut.
high quality leisure is intensely practicing your instrument. High quality leisure is not going to exhaust you in the same way as
Fuck,
fully
I
focused deep work.
Mistype as
You should be okay.
webcon instead of webtoon.
If you
Jesus.
feel like what you're doing is pretty exhausting, like maybe you're working on a novel on the side as a leisure project, and that really can, like extreme programming, like practicing instrument, that really can actually
What
make
volume
a lot
is
of
this?
demand.
Volume is
You know,
66.
do less of it and balance it out with other leisure activities that pull from different parts of
Gonna
your brain
do
that are less
this.
exhausting. There's a cool book on this,
Volume
from the
66. I'm
early
gonna name this
20th
to
century,
Volume
Arnold
66.
How to Live on 24 Hours a Day.
The
And
number
one of his
of the
arguments
beast.
is, even if you're exhausted from your
Oh
work,
yeah, I forgot. I need to put
if
this
you
on.
switch over
Make
to
the Instagram
unrelated
version.
high
So,
quality leisure, your energy raises that
Instagram,
pulse.
Instagram,
So he's
Instagram.
arguing our brain needs rest,
Where's
but
my?
it gets that rest in sleep. So yes, we do have to sleep every day. But when our brain is active, like we are awake, it does not actually demand, in the way that we imagine, complete downtime, where it just needs to sit
The
there
hell?
and do nothing or consume very low quality
File type.
media. In the world of Arnold Bennett,
Where's the
sort of
sign?
snobby, striving middle class.
Where's the Psy version?
Middle
Yes.
class England.
I think
in
this is
early
the one.
20th century.
Oh, this is the one.
Described
There
as
you
sort of
go.
low quality media that you're drinking and like playing cards and sort of.
Gonna
just sitting
save it
around and
to
listening to
as,
classical music. And he says you don't need
uh,
that. This idea that you need that's not
there
true.
you go.
Ponder poetry.
Pretty good.
Or whatever his
Pretty good
definition
so
of high
far.
quality leisure is. He
Pretty
says
good.
it'll re-energize
Pretty
you.
good so far.
The brain wants to do interesting stuff. So yeah, you might have to adjust a little bit, but you should be able to find on almost any day, unless you're actually sick, a groove of high quality
Oh
leisure
fuck! I
that is
forgot
going to
about
feel better and be more
that again.
energizing
Jeez, I need to
than just
stop
falling
doing
back
that.
to let me do nothing hard at
I
all.
forgot this is not a perfect square.
I actually have a listener sent me a first edition of how
Oh
to
my
live
God, I
24
need
hours
to
a day. I
stop
have it
doing
displayed
that.
in my library.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that before.
But
Yeah,
honestly, I
it's
kind of
really
get
cool.
makes it
I'm
look
really
like
happy to have
more
that.
natural,
got
I guess,
next?
more sketchy, more indie.
Next
I'm
question
sorry
from
for
Sam.
sounding a little bit
Hi, Cal.
pretentious.
I'm working on digital minimalism, and one of the high-value activities I want to include in my life is watching sports on TV. But there are so many commercials throughout sports that I feel like I could use the commercial time better. Do you have any ideas on how to deal with activities that have inherent frequent breaks, such as sports?
What do you do, Jesse, when you're watching TV sports?
That's a good question. Yeah, I just, like, for instance, during the Super Bowl, I had it on, and
Yeah,
I was just,
it's just on.
but a lot of times
There you go.
during NFL games, like on Sundays, I'll be at work, so the sun's not on anyway.
Yeah, so you're
I'm
sort of
kinda
you're
hurt.
kind of just checking in.
But then on like a Saturday, or sorry, like a Monday
Okay,
night
save
game,
it,
I will,
and then
yeah, just have it on.
One of the things I used to like,
Time?
well, I still do. I wrote about this in my newsletter. Is reading a book while listening to baseball on the radio.
66A.
That's a favorite of mine. Maybe even outside on a summer day, you read a book and then you sort of put the game on when it comes back. And with baseball, you can kind of tune in and
then
out a little bit, right? So you're
go
like, okay, if something
this.
interesting's happening,
This is
I'll really
all
listen. But now it's going to
this
commercial break. I'll go back to my book. If they're in a pennant race, I could get more reading done
I can just do
because
this.
as we got towards later innings, I would turn the radio down when we were pitching because it was too much stress. So I then you could get a whole half inning of reading because when it's your team up the bat, it's all possibility. You're like, hey,
B.
anything good could happen here. Nothing that terrible could happen other than we just get outs. So I don't know. If you're watching sports on TV, I would say it's fine to have some sort of leisure activity that you're going back and forth through.
And
I
then
would
this one.
Not make it work related because if you context shift like into your email and then back to the football game, your mind is now stuck between these two worlds and you're not going to get the sense
See?
of relief of doing something unwork related. So don't make it work related. Also, don't make it engineered to be addictive. So you mentioned in the longer version of your question that you're watching YouTube videos. I don't like that necessarily,
D.
that
This is
tension
the D.
between
All right, there
hey,
you go.
look at me, like addictive if the content has these recommendations that are grabbing your attention. And now you're competing that against the high quality activity. I would rather your secondary leisure activity be a little more boring. Be on like that same level of slowness as the game on TV
And then the
itself.
final
So I
one,
think
the
a book
E.
is a good example. Some other sort of analog thing that
E.
you're working on, something that you're trying to fix.
E.
You're cleaning something
Okay.
while the game is on, and you kind of clean during the commercials.
There
Maybe
you
have
go. E.
a secondary activity that is on a equal
I'm
level.
gonna post
of
this on my
slowness. It's not
Instagram and all that
competing
stuff.
for your attention, because then you really get the experience then of your brain downshifting to this medium, which itself I think is just clearing and useful. So I think it's
E.
okay to have something to do during the commercials.
E.
Just don't make it work related. Don't make it too addictive. All right, what do we got next?
Next question's from Chris. How do you envision digital minimalists interacting with augmented reality once the technology has advanced sufficiently to replace all
save
the
as
screens
JPEG,
in
I
our
forgot about
lives
that.
as you have predicted?
Well, first of all, I still think my prediction is not being discovered enough. Not necessarily from me, but I don't see enough other people talking about that prediction, in particular in their coverage of
There
the
you
new
go.
Apple Vision Pro.
Hey, I've
I
been
don't know that
wondering,
everyone
Jet,
yet is
how
still
about
on the same page
this?
that I'm on, which says the whole reason
I've been
why
wondering about how about
Apple is
no
investing in the Apple
no
Vision Pro.
panel.
The whole reason why they're doing this is
Is it
because
gonna make it more
you don't
indie?
need to.
I-
Once
I-
this
I think-
technology is sufficiently
Honestly,
advanced,
look at
you
that.
don't need to own
Look at
separate
this.
screens.
Look at this. Look at this, Jet.
Once
Look
you
at the
can fit an
textures.
Apple
It looks
Vision
very
Pro into
good,
a pair
but
of Ray-Ban glasses.
I don't know. Should I though?
I don't need a phone
Should
and
I?
an iPad and a laptop and a TV
Like
and an office
with or
computer.
without?
I just need these glasses, which can put similar size screens wherever
With or
I
without
happen
panels?
to be.
I just think it looks
so
weird.
why buy
'cause
all those
especially
things?
in
That's
this.
a huge
I mean, if
industry.
you want to make like
Consumer
4 panels
electronics
with the same
industry
like
is
layouts, I think go for it. But I think
Apple's
this
profit
just makes
comes
it look
almost
weird.
entirely from building
Yeah,
physical screens.
definitely just makes it
nice
looks weird.
brushed metal boxes. If those all go away, Apple's in trouble. So
Yeah,
they wanna own the
probably
virtual
not-
screen
probably
future.
not
I'm
my
still
thing.
convinced that's where we're going to end up.
I mean, it just makes
If
it
I
looks
want to
weird.
make a
Like
phone call, I
especially you
put a
have like
screen
this
in front of me,
smaller thing.
projected by my
Just makes
glasses.
it
If I want to
a
watch
little bit
TV, there's
distracting.
a screen put on the wall, projected by my glasses.
But
if I want to write,
on
a
other
screen
layout,
comes in front of me
it
at the
looks
coffee
good.
shop, projected by my
but
glasses.
it's just
I don't need to own other bits of electronic. I just need whatever
it's just
drives
bruh.
those glasses.
But you
So
know
when
what? Let's
people
just
do
let's
hear
not
about
do
this future, their
that
concern
yet.
is, like Chris's concern is here in this question, are we going to be super distracted in a way that we don't even know now? Because there
Title.
is no hard line between
Uh,
reality and the digital. Could our whole world be full
Okay.
of these distractions?
The
Here's my current guess.
Killmonger
No.
cut.
I think even in a
Size
world
around,
of
I forget, probably
virtual
90? Yeah, 90.
engagement, so augmented reality
Okay.
engagement, we are still going to prefer the screen metaphor as our the mediation
All
with
right.
the
I
digital.
think this is a good.
So even when these screens are not physical, they're being
I'm gonna save
projected
this
into
as
space by a pair of
volume
glasses.
66.
We still are going to want our digital
Just
to
to
be
keep
within
it-
some sort of screen. A
You know,
clear
just to keep track.
demarcation between the digital and the real.
Okay. Now that it's
It would
done.
be possible, of course, for the digital world to be fully integrated in a more obfuscated way with what's going on around us. I don't think we're going to
And
want
you know,
that.
let's just
I don't
crop
think that's
for
what the
like
market's going to demand.
thumbnails from
I think
our
the market's going to be
webtoon.
very happy with, I don't have to buy screens anymore. My TV is awesome because I
So
can
I'm
just make a
gonna
giant screen without having to buy one.
do this.
I don't need a separate laptop and iPad or what have you because I can just have 4 monitors whenever I need it. This is great.
Thumbnail, thumb, 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 thumb,
It'll
thumb,
be
thumb, thumb, thumb,
keyboards
thumb,
and
thumb,
nice.
and
It's just
then
going to look at my hand.
two
I think that is
right
going to be a
around here.
compelling pitch to the market, but the screen metaphor
Above
will
Sune
persist.
Miku.
I mean, think about this. This has been the dominant metaphor of media consumption for over 500 years. Basically, when we switched from the scroll to the codex, the bound codex, as our way of conveying
Saves.
written technology.
Save. All
the
right,
idea
work finally
of
over.
a
Hey, welcome.
Constrained,
Welcome to my
rectangle
stream.
containing information
Alright,
has been what we've
alright.
done.
Just gonna
Movie screens, constrained rectangles, televisions, constrained
Just gonna
rectangles,
post it
computer
on
screens,
my,
constrained rectangles, phones, iPads,
gonna post it on
video
my
games,
my
constrained
my social media
which information is
first.
found. So I think that
Hold up.
that metaphor is
hold
going to
up.
continue, not because it's necessarily the best way. I
Gonna
mean, maybe
change
it's
the
it
canvas
is better
size or resolution
to have the things we're interacting
know
with
what?
just sort of be in the world, and we can't tell the
That
difference between
pixel,
them and other
that
things.
amount
Maybe it
pixel
is
and
better,
save it as JPEG.
But
You wanna know the
psychologically,
reason why I never
philosophically,
post
think we
as
prefer to have
PNG?
a clear demarcation between real and fake. So yes, I think it's going to AR is going to
Because I
completely
wanted,
upend the consumer electronics
you know,
industry.
I just want
Most of us
people
will
to
be
read more
engaging with
of
a
my,
world augmented
you
with
know,
digital elements just all day long.
lower size, like
But it
it's
might
barely a
not look
megabyte.
As paradoxical
So
as
more
this might
people can-
seem, that
more people
different
can
in our
enjoy
current
my
world
shit.
today. We might not be able to reach out and grab the screen we're looking at, but I think it's still going to
I never post my comics in PNG because I want people to
exceptions, some
more
games,
people
et
to
cetera,
enjoy my
but,
shit.
some pop out stuff. So
like this is like barely a
I don't
megabyte.
even think so. Like so, Jesse, I see like a lot of these demos of
It's barely a megabyte,
checking
so
email
there's
and
that.
Mm-hmm.
the demo videos. They like to have it
Alright.
sort of
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Let's I'm gonna
like
post
your
it on
messages
my
fly out, or like
Reddit.
kind of in space, and you're scrolling in space, and
Yeah,
then
lower
over
data
here you're
usage on
writing,
mobile. Yeah,
and you'll
as
maybe.
much as possible.
But I also think people will be happy with no. I could just have a giant screen in front of me, so it's I
I'm
can see
gonna
my-
post
I
it
get
on
two
my
messages side by
r/comic.
side. I don't need the
Hopefully, when
messages to
it
float
gonna blow
in,
up
like, little
again
envelopes.
because for some
I'm
reason.
fine with what Gmail looks like. I just want to be able
So
to
apparently
access
my
Gmail
comic is
wherever
as
I am and have, like, a
popular
really big
as
screen where I can
Shen
look at two
comics
messages side by
and all
side
that shit.
drag things back and forth. So I think something like the
Around
screen
there.
metaphor, that's my new
I don't know.
prediction, is going to dominate. Also, it's just technically easier. It's going to be that's going to be easier than trying to more complexly integrate digital elements to the real world. The easiest thing to do with AR is just try to anchor a screen in space as you move around. So
All right,
we'll
gonna
see.
post it
That's my current-
around
that's my
here
current
on
guess.
my.
I still haven't found a.
Okay, first of all, I need to post it on Reddit first because Reddit comic has a bot.
that's going to that would require me to get
Has a
one of those
bot
lessons.
moderation.
How much are they?
$3,000.
Bot moderation.
really?
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
god.
expensive.
Okay.
Jaron
Bot.
Lanier just wrote a good New Yorker
Bot
piece
moderation.
on this, so
I'll have to check it out.
that
Oh
might
my
have burned
god,
my
the
opportunity to
the
get the New Yorker,
the
but I really
the
need an Apple Vision Pro.
the
Or you just
the the
Yeah,
closed caption can't.
Well, yeah, maybe I can. Jared,
I
come
hate the I hate
No, he helped invent
I really hate the
virtual
closed
reality, so
the
I
auto
think it's well suited
caption
for
on
that.
here
You probably
because
have too.
can't pick up my accent.
I should.
A
he
bot
probably does.
moderation.
He
Oh
probably
my
does.
god, bot BOT BOT
next?
bot.
All right, Laura. Next question.
Yeah, there you go.
How can I
BOT
have
bot
a
moderation.
digital minimalist life when I have
Jesus.
an online business based
Okay.
on social media?
Anyway, but yeah, it has
I'm a
like
full-time
automated
YouTuber
moderation
who
that
struggles with
basically
keeping
crawls
up
around
with
the
my
internet. That
subscribers'
if I post
interactions.
on
I
Twitter
have
or
a
any
channel with
other
30,000
website first,
subscribers that keeps
you're
growing
gonna
at a
say,
very
"Oh,
good
sorry,
pace.
pal,
I've been
this is
trying
not
to
your
reply to
content."
all the
Despite
comments
the
on
fact that
my
this is
channel, but lately
my
it's been getting
content.
harder.
Well, Laura, I think it's a good
But
question
yeah, it do be
because
like
it
that. But
emphasizes
gonna post it on
a
Reddit
common confusion about
and
digital minimalism.
hopefully it'll load.
You don't have a digital minimalism
Post it
problem.
on
You have an entrepreneur workflow
Reddit.
problem.
Okay, is it
And I want
posted?
to distinguish
let
between
me
these two because I
see.
think it's important. When people hear
Aha!
digital minimalism
Post it.
and they know that it has to do with having a more healthy relationship
And
with
what
your
did this
tools,
say?
they often change the second word in their head. And say,
Welcome
yes,
to
what we're
R.
talking
Okay,
about
it's got
here
approved. That
is
means that's a
digital
good business.
minimization.
All right. And then gonna
The goal
go
of this
to
philosophy
my
is to use as little technology
social
as
media to
possible,
repost everything. Be
to
right back.
remove technology from your life.
Ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do.
More removal is better than less. And from the perspective of digital minimization, you
This is
say,
how
"Oh,
I
I'm spending
felt
all this
making
time
Will
on
Smith
YouTube."
in Saints Row 3.
That goes against.
I mean, Will Smith is
minimization
just
because I'm spending
buzz
time
cut,
on YouTube,
right?
and so maybe this philosophy.
You don't have
doesn't
like buzz cutter on there or
Minimalism,
like
though,
a
is
short
different.
fade?
hold. Minimalism
there.
says you figure
What?
out what's important to you in your life. You figure out what tools, if anything, support these things that are important. Because you know why you're using the tools, you can put rules around their use that dictates how and when you use them. So in this case, you're a YouTuber. Your business is based on YouTube. Clearly,
Alright,
when you go through
shared
this
it.
exercise,
Gonna
you would
post
say,
it
yes,
on Facebook, despite the
engaging with
fact
YouTube
that the
does support things I value, such as making money and keeping my job. My job requires me to
despite the
use
fact that
YouTube.
I
There's
don't
no
have enough
problem.
audience on Facebook, but I'm gonna
Digital
post it
minimalism, there's
anyway
a
because
reason why you're using YouTube.
I'll try to
It
do
would
as
also
much
say,
of
of course, have
engagement on
rules about how and
every
when
single
you use it to
platform
make sure that
imaginable.
you do the stuff that's important,
You know, hell, I'll
but
post
not
on
being
Yahoo
unnecessary side
group
effects. And
if
this is where I
that
think
still
this becomes
exists.
a business workflow problem. Your issue is your channel has grown, and it takes
Or
a
you
lot
know,
of time to interact with
GeoCities
subscribers.
or whatever.
But
But
that's
yeah,
your problem. That's a business problem.
you gotta branch
But
out
your-
on
your-
social media. So
Your
I'm
rules
posting
for
it on
engaging
my
with YouTube as your channel grew
the
was,
Facebook.
I'm going to try to answer user
And then
comments because that
finally
leads to
gonna
more
post it on my
engagement
official
and will
site.
help the rate at which my channel grows. I guess this is like a common YouTube strategy idea. And now your channel is up to a given size that these interactions become more difficult because of scale. So what do you have to do? It's a business workflow problem. All right. Either I have to put aside more time for doing this or move on to the next stage of my channel growth where I no longer try to
This be
interact
doing numbers.
directly with subscribers.
Hopefully.
And all YouTube channels
Alright, gonna
will
share this
eventually go through
to
that stage.
my
Once you
Facebook
get to a
group or
certain
whatever.
size, you're not interacting with your commenters. I mean, we just
I
had
just enjoy
Elliot
people
Dahl
who
on the
interact when
show.
they see the comics.
He's
Me
not
too.
sitting there. He has
But
5 million
honestly,
subscribers.
it's better
He's
not to
sitting there trying
engage.
answer every
Just watch them.
So there's some point where that no longer makes sense. And maybe you're at that point, which would mean you stop doing that. And if you're not at that point, my suggestion would be to
Just
lean
watch
into
the
how and
metrics go
when
up, I guess.
attributes the digital minimalism says you should place around any technology in your life.
Okay,
much
and
more
then
structured
post
about
it
it.
on my
I have
official
1 hour here
website,
and a
and
half hour
finally I
here
have to
every
go
other
back
day
to go
where
to
I
my
go through
mobile
reply
and
very
post
quickly to
them
comments. I don't look at them otherwise.
on my
Or put fences around them.
Instagram, which is
So that's where you are.
the most
You either
hassle
need better
that's possible.
fences,
Like, what the
wider
fuck? Why is
passwords
it
fenced
taking
into
so
this
much
behavior,
hassle doing
or you
that?
need to move on from this behavior. But this is a business workflow problem more than it is a minimalism problem. Minimalism is not about stop using technology. If you have to use technology, give up on it. It's about being intentional. So just be very careful about your intentionality here with YouTubers and
Where the
comments. and
fuck is
say,
my Tumblr tab? Oh,
is
there
this
you go.
necessary? Is there another way I could do this? Let's rethink how I want to engage with these
I
tools.
posted
That's
you
a
right
business
here, and then
workflow issue. I mean, I remember going through this with my newsletter and blog. Very similar, Laura, to what you're talking about here. Early on, we're talking 2007, 2008 when I started this. I answered every email that people sent me, and I was
More.
talking mainly to students back then, and so I would get these emails from students
And
with specific
hyperlink.
problems, and I really liked
Uh-huh.
trying to give them advice. A, it felt
And
useful.
all the tags, all
and
the
B,
tags,
it
all the tags,
helped me
all the
better
tags.
keep up with what are the specific issues that students right now are facing. As I talk about often on the show, however, there was this point where I had to stop doing that. There was just too many readers, therefore too many emails. It was taking up too much of my life. It was stressful. I couldn't keep up. I was spending hours working on it, and eventually I had to evolve to the next
There you
stage
go.
of my
And
media
for
career
the final
and
shit,
say, okay, I no longer have a
Gonna
sort of
post it in
open
my
email
gram.
address where I just answer
Dumbler.
questions.
yeah, I'm
it's just
sorry.
not
I'm sorry for spreading out, fellas.
And it was weird, and then I got over it. So, maybe you're there.
Wait, I haven't
But I
posted
like
on my
this question
fucking.
because if you
I haven't
use
posted on my
your
fucking
business
club.
is based on social
Fuck.
media,
Okay.
you could still be a digital minimalist.
Gonna have to upload this.
Have to be intentional. If you're having trouble with your work,
Okay.
it might not be a technology problem, but just a workflow
A
problem.
B C D E.
We don't talk to our subscribers
E.
on YouTube. Is that something people do, Jesse? Like, is that
Yes.
help your channel
then,
grow or something?
Oh
think
yeah, I
it
haven't
might.
posted on
It seems
my
like that'd be
webtoon.
pretty-
I don't think
The
I would know how,
Dumbledore.
like
Snape.
I don't know how comments
Snape.
work on YouTube.
You just go to the
Severus
I would have
Snape.
to
YouTube studio. and
Snape.
then
You do it in like
Snape.
the back end,
Yeah.
and then it would show up
Severus
as coming
Snape.
from like the channel itself.
Uh-huh.
Yo,
Audience,
that boy,
I'm
what's
unlikely
up?
to do
Welcome to the
that.
stream.
So
Just
if
finished
you're
making
watching
my
this on
comic.
I am unlikely to go in and start
Finishing this
responding
one.
to the comments.
It's
But there you go. YouTube is a weird beast. All right, do we have a call this week?
All
Yes,
right,
we do.
here we go.
Let's
What up?
do that.
So
Alright,
I'm
here
just
we
gonna
go.
stick around for a while. Gonna do a little random doodling after this, just to
I'm a Kiwi currently living in the US, working as a
Just to
financial
cool down.
consultant. I have a question around decentralized.
But yeah, what up?
social
What up?
media.
Just
I've spent
done.
the last 5
Did
years
finishing
developing my artistic
this.
drawing skills to a proficient level and feel that I could now generate some real revenue. I'm not about to quit my day job. My question is more about how do I share my content with an audience? How do I monetize it? How do I do this and still maintain control over what I create while not handing
Alright.
over the reins?
Published
These days,
it,
and my
and
audience
then
were large social
one more
media companies.
Instagram. Oh my god, this is
Ideally, I would
taking
only
so
use
much
social
time.
media as a tool
But it
to
do be
funnel
like that, you know. You
viewership
got.
into some other
This is
thing.
why a lot of people
I'd
they
love to hear your
tend to
thoughts. I've
hire
heard you talk
social media
theoretically about
manager and
this idea,
shit
but don't really know how you imagine it to work in practice.
to do their bidding.
Cheers for all the hard work.
But I can't afford social
Well, I
media
got two
manager.
ideas here. One, let's just talk.
I took a snow nap for 2
fundamentals.
hours.
You
Oh,
want
okay.
to sell
Alright. It's
something
fine.
online.
I'm still
You're
here. I'm just gonna
monetizing
do a little bit
a
of
rare and valuable
doodling.
skill you have online. There's a fundamental principle here which says you need a
Uh,
home
uh,
like a home base for this this material, this content, the drawings, music, artwork, whatever it is. You need a home base that you
Alright,
can
gonna
control
okay, Instagram
or allows you to control what you're selling. You also want to have control over how it's sold. So never let your
Web
home base
comic.
for what you're trying to monetize online
Alright,
be something owned by someone
gonna
else.
tag my Instagram account.
Right, so this
just
is what would happen, for
people
example,
knows that
if
I posted a new comic. I
your
guess.
main place where you hold your contents on a social media platform. That's their content. You're working for that platform to help them harness eyeballs.
More doodles.
They decide
yep,
how
more
they
doodles
show it to
indeed.
people. They decide how the selling works. They can do what they want with that material.
Finishing up.
This is very
You-
different
you-
than having
you've
your own
earned
website,
a
for
new-
example.
What?
It's very
Why am
different
I
than
earning
selling things
new
using the
achievement?
Shopify
What is
store.
this? Why is
If your
Zuckerberg is
stuff,
making like?
Shopify is just helping you sell it. It's very different.
Why
Let's
the
say
fuck
you know,
does
a
Zuckerberg make
podcast.
my?
Yeah, you'll have a hosting service
Never
somewhere,
mind.
but this is just a
Never
server
mind,
that
Zuck.
hosts your MP3
What-
files,
for
which are
what
your
purpose?
MP3 files. And all these other players like Spotify or Apple iTunes players are just
Okay,
getting
finished.
copies
All
from
right.
the server. You own it. It's yours.
Posted on every single social
So
media
you
handle
want to
that.
have
my
a home
comic
base
has.
for whatever
Now,
you're trying
time
to
to
monetize
draw some
online.
shit.
The more you can
Now,
have
dude,
your own
we're
home
gonna
base
do
that
the
you
fun
can
part.
control and that you own, the better. You can then use, as you mentioned, various platforms de jour to try to draw attention to this home base. So for writers, for example, their home base might
All
be
right,
an
that boy.
email
Since you came in late,
subscription
and
newsletter,
I'm
and
just
they
gonna do
use
you
other
a
social
favor.
media tools to try to pull people towards it.
I'm
but
just
what
gonna
matters is their list.
Draw
Artists might
a
show
bit
some
of a
of their artwork on
fanboy
Instagram,
nerd
But they have
emoji
a website where their art lives.
because
and
you
where
you
can
really
actually
like to
order
bully
limited edition
fanboy
prints through
nerds.
their own Shopify store. They can control it. Podcasters like me, we put video versions of these podcasts on YouTube. There's a whole new audience there, a younger audience that can learn and find these on YouTube, and some people just like to watch it. But the show itself lives. We own it. It lives on our own, third-party podcast server. Like that's what matters to us. Is the show itself is something we
And
own.
hopefully
We
Zuck
can shut
won't.
down YouTube tomorrow, and it doesn't matter.
Hopefully Bezos won't
because
base
we have
me.
this show with an audience we've built and we owned, and so on.
I
So think
hopefully I
that's a
won't
good
get
principle.
Jeff Bezos.
Two, go into this idea of using existing algorithmically recommendation-driven platforms like social media to promote your work. Go into that with your eyes
Yo,
open.
trigger
and care.
picking. What's up? I just
But I
finished
often
drawing my
tell
comics, and
people who
now
are
I'm
wondering,
just
okay, I have this old-fashioned skill. How do I promote it in the new media world?
Just gonna
As they
draw some
start by
fanboy.
seeing what you would have done 12 years ago. 2012, we think of that roughly speaking as the point.
just
where
posted
social
it.
media,
Oh fuck! I forgot to
tipped
post
into
it. And
becoming
announce it
something
on my
that was
server.
generally assumed to be used. That's when it really grew to
Shoot,
cultural
I'm sorry.
ubiquity. All right,
Here,
so
let
what
me
would you
do
have done in
this.
2011? How did people who drew get attention to their work and sell their work? How did people who wrote books used to get attention to their work? How did artists get attention for their work?
Gonna-
How did musicians find and grow
Gonna
in
announce it
audiences in
twice.
2011? Ask yourself that question and start
there you
there.
go.
Because what often turns out is those
Then
are still
the-
the main ways you should do it.
Yeah. Let's see the matrix go up.
that social media, sure, you can go on there. Maybe there'll be some break, but more likely it'll just be you are dedicating your time to help generate attention for these companies so they can monetize it more. I think the reason why we get it's so appealing to think I want to promote this work on social media.
All right,
is
there you go.
because
Done.
there's this
Finish. All right,
lottery
let's throw some
ticket
femboys.
feel to it. Hey, you never know. These TikToks might go viral, and I'll be the next Justin Bieber. That could happen, but it probably won't. Now, the platform will string you along, give you a little burst of views every once in a while, so you think that you're just around the corner. But for 99.9% of the people, that's not how it works. The old-fashioned way is what really matters. I'm a musician. I get better at playing. I start performing. I build up my own audience and mailing list. My skills get to a place where this begins to attract the attention of A&R executives who are desperate to find actually really good musicians. Now that I'm connected with the ARO representatives, I go on tour. I'm opening for bigger bands that they've set me up to do. That puts me in front of a bigger audience.
Yeah,
This
that's
gets me
true.
Ready. It probably takes about 10 years.
But yeah,
now we're ready to actually have an
I
awesome
think during
album.
my
We have the whole
hiatus,
mechanism
hold
of
up,
this
let
record
me
label
let
behind
me
the album.
let
That's
me put this
complicated
first.
and boring.
But yeah, before during my hiatus in February, I basically listened to this guy. His name is Cal Newport, and I didn't listen to his YouTube. I didn't know that he has a YouTube channel. I got an audiobook called the Digital Minimalism, and he basically made a good point about basically the reason why people are anxious and basically out of focus and can't enjoy anything is because social media algorithms keep feeding us with barely good dopamine kick. Like they've been giving us like a really bad type of dopamine kick that was preceded by a kick in the balls, basically. So you feel mad, and you find something that makes you feel cathartic, and then and then you see things that make you feel mad again. So basically, you're stuck with a perpetual loop of it's kind of like addiction in a way. And I really like his point over here that basically, you know, you need to self regulate. Oh fuck! I just had an epiphany. Holy shit! Thank you, Carl Newport. Thank you so much. Oh my god. I'm just cheerleader. Oh my god, cheerleader. Fuck! I had an epiphany. Thank you, Cal Newport. Where is it? Oh fuck! Where's my browser? Cheerleader link. No, not necessarily link, but I'm just kind of like wanna get inspired by Link's cheerleader outfit. So the nerd is like, okay, I think this is it. So cheerleader Link outfit. I feel so yeah. Yeah, that's the real thing. I think Cal Newport made a point that you shouldn't probably quit social media cold turkey because you're gonna need social media whether or not you need it. You know, but you need to regulate on how you use social media.
Better is I'm on YouTube, and next week Kim Kardashian or Mr. Beast is going to mention one of my songs. Then 10 million people are going to view it, and then I'm just going to have a lot of money. So there's a lottery ticket feel that I think new media, social media gives to us. There's
Yeah,
also
I agree.
a scariness with the existing traditional methods of getting an audience in many creative fields. There's a scariness because it is rife with rejection. Well, an agent might say, I don't want your book. You perform and they don't call you back because your music's not that good. You try to move your drawings in a gallery or sell prints at the market, and people don't like them. Social media kind of hides you from that type of rejection. It's like, no, like it's out there, and it engineers like a background hum of attention. So if you're on social media, you'll make sure that like you're going to get some people are going to see you. You'll have some followers, so it gives you that simulacrum of people care. And then you have this lottery ticket mentality in the background. Hey, this could take off anytime. It's just psychologically easier. So I think we get seduced by these new channels because it gets around everything that made succeeding as a creative hard just 12 years ago. We get seduced by these new channels. That being said, you might find when you do this exercise that no, there is a particular now market for this stuff that didn't exist before, and there's a way to get there through a particular social media channel. So sure, go in that with your eyes open, execute that plan carefully. But be careful about just this general seduction that somehow everything that has always been hard about trying to make a living in a sort of interesting, creative, autonomous field, that you can bypass all that through social media. The person who's winning in that equation is Mark Zuckerberg, right? The person winning that equation are the people that can monetize all that time you spend doing this sort of like easy, low return activities online, monetizing your attention. Be very careful about how you use that world and why you're using that world. All right, so I want to do a case study before we get to our final segment. We found a case study that has to do with
Oh shit, my wireless
minimalism.
headphone's dying.
I don't think I got a name on this one, actually. So we'll just call this person
What's my battery
anonymous. All right, here's what he wrote. In
30%.
May of 2022, I read a post on lesswrong.com called Do a Cost-Benefit Analysis of Your Technology Usage. I immediately read Digital Minimalism, completing it in June of 2022, and beginning my digital declutter, then gradually removing more and more apps from my phone. I also eventually picked up deep work and spent time on improving my time blocking and multi-scale planning game. It's been 1.5 years since I read Digital Minimalism and started applying its lessons. Since then, I have 1, drastically increased how much I read. 2, drastically increased how much I exercise. 3, incrementally increased how much I sleep. And 4, significantly
It's just an
increased the
emoji,
amount
that
of
boy.
movies and
He's
video
just an
games I
emoji.
have actively and consciously consumed, in contrast to passive or regretful consumption. After 1.5 years
He's just an
of saying to my
emoji.
wife,
He's just a
let me
little.
tell you what Cal Newport
He's just
says
a
you should be
little
doing.
emoji.
She has gone from rolling her eyes and making fun of my Henson razor to forcing me to listen to her read out loud passages from So Good They Can't Ignore You. Well, there's a good and a bad in there. The negative lesson there is don't bother your wife about Cal Newport stuff. Trust me, there's thousands of wives and girlfriends around the world who are tired of hearing about Cal Newport. My empathy goes out to your wife. But the good in here is that digital declutters and digital minimalism works, right? He got intentional about his technology usage. He added things into his life that was more meaningful to him. And look at these changes. He's reading, he's exercising, he's sleeping more. He's much more conscious about how he engages with media. This is someone who I can tell you is probably a lot less anxious, a lot more engaged than he was before, probably a lot more productive in work as well. It's like the heavy drinker doesn't realize the impact this is having on their lives, the hangovers, the lack of energy, the lack of other pursuits.
Should I add braces
realize,
to
oh my
him?
God, life is in Technicolor before it was in a sort of fuzzy black and white. So I love hearing those case studies. You can completely change your relationship with your phone. It's not as hard as you think, and the results when people do can be pretty cool. All right, so I want to get to a final segment where I react to something that someone sent me or I encountered in the news. But first, however, let's hear from another sponsor. All right, so now we've made our way to our final segment where I react to something I've seen in the news. Interestingly, we are combining this final segment with another segment, which is our weekly Slow Productivity Corner. The Slow Productivity Corner is where we do answer a question or tackle a segment each week that's related to my upcoming book, Slow Productivity, which you can pre-order now. Go to calnewport.com/slow to read an excerpt and find out more. All right, usually we use a question, but I had this final segment which put me in a slow productivity mood because it featured someone who is featured in the book. So the person I want to talk about today is J.R.R. Tolkien, author of other things, among other things, of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. In particular, there's a quote that was sent to me by a curator of medieval manuscripts at one of the libraries at Oxford. So I thought that was just so cool that I was like, I'm going to take seriously whatever you send me. You know, when you're getting a message from a curator of medieval manuscripts at Oxford, they're probably not writing you about kettlebells or bow hunting.
Or TikTok videos.
They're probably not, hey, do you see this fire TikTok video? At first, I thought this guy was sus, but now I know they're Audi 9000. See, I'm mixing late 90s lingo with modern lingo. No, it's very dignified. So he sent me this quote from Tolkien. I'm actually going to bring up an article on the screen for those who are watching that also includes this quote. Here's an article here from the New Criterion called The Constellations of Fantasy that is talking about this really cool Tolkien exhibit that was put on by the Morgan Library and Museum a couple years ago. What I like about some of this artwork, so you can see for those who are watching on the screen, an illustration that Tolkien did himself of for The Hobbit. You sort of see this fantastical English landscape. I assume this might be the Shire, done in pastel colors. Here he is working, picture of him working. All right, here's other illustrations he did. This is from a series of stories he did for his children about Father Christmas. It's a fantastical picture he did about it's Father Christmas going to his
Should I
palace.
add hairs to the nerd
Here's
emoji?
a
Because I don't
collection
know.
of graph paper from the exhibit that have been pasted together, and on here, Tolkien has drawn out a map of Middle Earth. This was his first map of Middle Earth. This caught my attention because, I know a lot about Tolkien. I read the Raymond James academic biography a couple years ago. He's living his life at Oxford where he's being overwhelmed to some extent by the details of being a lecturer at Oxford in the early 20th century, the stresses of being in a field, philology, that was transforming into modern linguistics, and he was on the old-fashioned side of that. He was grading a lot. He was preparing a lot of courses. He was really busy and feeling overwhelmed. He also worried about money. Meanwhile, look what he's doing. He's drawing these almost childlike, fantastical images. His imagination was soaring. When Lord of the Rings began to do well, he finally saw that he had a chance to spend less time with all of these grinding activities that he just sort of felt were put upon him, and more time in these fantastical worlds that are revealed through his artwork. And this brings us to the quote that was sent to me by this curator of medieval manuscripts from Oxford. It's a quote in a letter sent from Tolkien to Stanley Unwin. So here's the quote. Writing stories in prose or verse has been stolen, often guiltily, from time already mortgaged, and has been broken and ineffective. I may perhaps now do what I much desire to do and not fail a financial duty. So what he's pointing out there is that he had been stealing time from these other professional grinding activities to which it had already been mortgaged to work on these fantastical images that really spoke to him. And once his book started doing a little bit better, he finally had time to actually, without guilt, focus on this thing that's really important to him. There's a slow productivity lesson in there.
How do you think
Tolkien
he would sound like,
As an
honestly?
exemplar of fast
How do
productivity.
you think
You have all
the-
these
the-
things
the-
I'm doing
the
and
fanboy
juggling
nerd
as a
would sound like?
professor and doing all these things. Wasn't that happy. Where did he find real peace? being able to return to these fantastical worlds that he was
I wonder
creating,
though.
working on fewer things, slowing down on the work, obsessing over the quality of the few number of things
You know
he
what?
did.
Round
This
glasses.
is hard to get to. Not all of us are going to get there completely. Not all of us are going to write Lord of the Rings. I give a lot of advice in my book about how to move towards this world, but I just thought it was a great example of the joys of slowness. This is what Tolkien wanted to do, was engage in this slower, more engaging world to get away from the fast productivity of his time. So the issues we face today in our world of Slack and email were issues that Tolkien faced in the early 20th century in his age of academic responsibilities. And so I just thought it was cool to see that quote and to see these examples of the fantastical worlds that really drew his attention. Here's another one here. Here's an ink drawing he did called Eeriness.
Less.
He had like this childlike imagination, but it was sophisticated. That's what he wanted to do. And eventually he was slowed down enough to be able to do it. And there he found this real contentment. So perfect example of the promise of slow productivity, and a great excuse, Jesse, to hear once again our slow productivity theme song. All right, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening. Remember, calnewport.com/slow to hear more about my book, thedeeplife.com/listen for instructions on how to submit your own questions and calls to the program. We'll be back next week with a new episode. And until then, as always, stay deep. Hey, so if you enjoyed today's discussion of digital minimalism, I think you'll also like episode 286, in which I go into the different types of self-help, from the simple and advice focus to the deep and philosophical, and tell you how to integrate these sources of wisdom into your high quality leisure habits. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. The general topic is, how do you cultivate a deep life in a world that is increasingly distracted?
Oh, okay. The video is over. Okay. Hey, by the way, I think I'm gonna have to stream. I'm just gonna have to end the stream right about now, because I need to finish the drawing, and I'm just gonna do manage my social media after this. So yeah, have fun. So I'll post this on my Twitter